you say?
I said it's like ASMR, where they're like,
But mine's much bigger. Hi.
well, it's fucked up. It's rude. Not the size that matters. It's the way you use it.
Oh my God, why are we like this? Are we finally here?
We are here.
We finally made it, you guys. Welcome to the Dark Collective Podcast, episode 1, Intro to Sin.
Yes! Intro to Sin, baby.
Intro to Sin. So a little intro. My name is Red, you guys. I am part of the founding amazing women that created Sinners and Stardust. I live in San Diego, California, and I'm actually a hairdresser. And this beautiful human with me is the ever so amazing, what's your name?
My name's Jen, and I am the owner of Sinners and Stardust.
You guys, she is the owner. We're just here for her party. We're here for her spotlight.
I'm like, let's get crazy.
So, you guys, we are super excited to be here with our podcast. And, you know, what is our podcast? Why are we here? There's a lot of reasons why we are here. But this episode is just for you guys to kind of get to know who we are and what we got going on. So, first off, I think people want to know how the hell this started, right? Like, why this?
I think so. We get that question a lot.
We get that question all the time. Like, how did this happen? Where did you broads come from? Because we are all so different.
We're also different, and we live in very different places in the United States.
It's crazy because when you guys hear this episode, will already have gone and came home from Boston at the end of January. We thought it was a good idea at the time, but I'm in California and
Bethany's in
Florida.
I'm in Connecticut, and Joy is in Oregon,
Washington? Seattle. I never know. Like,
I'm like, you're in one of those. They're like, it's like right there.
It's right there. So Jen and Joy are used to that cold weather, and me and Bethany are just gonna die. We're gonna die.
The memes that we send them is perfect. I can already picture Red and Bethany but like I'm gonna be in like a t-shirt and like sweatpants walking around, and Bethany and Red are gonna be in like parkas with like gloves and like scarves.
Like, no, I did not buy a pair of heated gloves. I didn't buy a pair of
I'll buy you some of those little hand warmers. Just find them in your gloves.
So we are talking about Bethany and Joy. Some of you have no idea who we're talking about. So the Dark Collective is consistent of the owner, Miss Jen, who's here with us, me, Joy, and Bethany. And how I fell into this was actually through social media.
Social media, baby.
Always from social media. The book talk world is viral.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, just got into the reading world about 2 years ago. I'm very new. I'm a hairdresser. So, I drive long distances a lot, and I got kind of sick of the true crime podcast because I feel like I've listened to every single one of them. And
I still do.
I know. I read about it, but, I just don't listen as much. And one of my clients was like, oh my God, look at this sweatshirt. It was thick thigh stabby vibes. And I immediately bought it without even thinking about it. And I sent her a message and basically we started flirting. I feel like that's what happens nowadays.
That's how female friendships are made. Like, literally. I don't care who you are, you flirt. And like, again, that's why like I always feel weird whenever I'm like talking to men that I'm not interested in, because it comes off as flirty, but it's literally like I flirt with all my female friends. All the time.
I swear. And, we met in February of last year, which is crazy. We're coming up on our 1 year. Yeah. And long story short, she owns the Dirty Llama Company, which is where the sweatshirt is from. It's amazing. Check it out. It'll be in the notes. But what I will say was that she goes, random enough, you want to come work my booth in Florida at a book convention?
To be fair, I'm like, we've been talking for like at least a couple weeks.
At least, so I'm just going to fly across the nation.
She said, I'm coming for you, babe.
My poor husband thought I was going to be catfished.
He's like, this is where you die. You're getting murdered.
Yeah, exactly.
And all my girls that were staying because we like rented an Airbnb in Florida, they're all like, and how do you know her? Which, to be fair, most of them didn't know each other either. Like, I was like the middle person that knew everyone. And I was like, no, you're going to love him. No, it's fine. It's good.
I always say that Jen's like the gravitational force that literally everyone goes toward. Like we have this little stupid joke in our group where we call ourselves the popular group because we are definitely not. But it's just so funny because like if there was a nice version of Regina George, that would be Jen.
So awful.
I know.
But valid.
So the funny thing was that my flights got super delayed. So like I didn't end up showing up to the Airbnb.
Not only am I flying cross country to meet a bunch of people that I met on the internet, I am showing up to a random Airbnb, not even a hotel, not even like security's downstairs, lobby, get through. She goes, I'm showing up to an Airbnb at 2 a.m. And we all said, come on, sis, this is going to be a fun time.
And flying for like 12 hours that day. So I was exhausted. And so I literally get out of the car and Jen just jumps into my arms and it's like forever besties. And I walk into the house and literally I see Jess practically passed out on Amber, Bethany looking at me like she's going to fucking kill me, you know?
Like, we all joke that Bethany is our cinnamon roll, but like Bethany also will like murder you if you hurt her friends.
Oh my God. Is
what
she
they
like
call
that?
her last, she's the Gremlin cinnamon roll.
Yeah, she's like from that Trolls movie for that meme that's really big right now.
I told you we needed more glitter.
We need more glitter.
Like that is Bethany to a T. So that's how I met Bethany, was that night. And then I met Joy later on in the weekend at a vampire gothic
sex club.
Yeah, essentially.
Without like actual sex. Like there wasn't actual sex.
No.
But it was
kind of like the unknown after party for the event we were at. And it was really funny because like I met her and she's wearing this gorgeous green costume that I have no idea what the reference was.
Made. She was Aylin for all of you book babies. Yes. She was Aylin and she made her husband Cody a Rowan outfit. You can literally go to their Instagram. I'm sure it'll be somewhere.
Yeah,
and
it'll be
it's gorgeous.
It was
gorgeous.
And so I'm staring at this woman who's taller than me. And mind you guys, I'm 5'10". So when I get to be around women that are as tall as me, I'm just like, I'm not the tallest person in the room. Like, this is great.
So Red loves to wear platforms on top of it. So yes, like, I mean, I'm 5'9", 5'10". Red is 5'10". Joy's like 5'11". Our really good friend Amber Palmer, she's like 5'10", 5'11". And then you have like Jess and Bethany who are like 5'5" babies.
They're like
so it's like tall bitches, little babies.
Exactly. And so I'm gonna let you tell them what happened after the first 30 seconds after I met Joy.
So we were like, all right, hang out, like cool. She's like, I'm gonna go check out my friends in the other room. Go find my husband. And we were like, all right, cool. We're gonna be at this bar because there was like multiple rooms. So we were like over at this bar, like hanging out, kind of dancing. Wasn't 30 seconds. Joy comes running back over, grabs me and is like, come with me. You have to see this. So we like run back into the other room and she points to the stage. She goes, I know that ass. And it's her husband, Cody, like facing a I don't even know, a wheel.
It was like a wooden cross is what it was.
It was like a wooden cross. Arms spread eagle back to us, getting flogged.
And we're
like, oh my God. He had like welts for weeks is what Joy said.
The funny thing is I was if you could consider drunk 1 to 10, I was at like a 5. And so I didn't really register what was happening. I was like, why are we watching this? And Jen just goes, oh my God, it's her husband.
It's Cody. Because on a scale of 1 to 10, I was probably at least a 9 because I became friends with the bartender at the event. So the bartender and I were doing shots. I was dressed like a chicken and they just kept feeding me shots of courage so I would get on stage so that Red could have her moment of winning the costume contest.
Literally, you guys, when we are sorry that this podcast may feel like it's all over the place, but we just want you guys really to get to know us. But the funny thing is about that costume contest was that I was already like, I was at like a 7 at the event. I became a 5 at the bar because I was overwhelmed. And the funny thing was that everyone's like, Red, you have to do it. Like no one's dressed as the Surreal. And if you guys know ACOTAR, you know exactly what we're talking about. And I was dressed as like a glam Suriel. So I had this big, beautiful, like tulle off the shoulder, like very like dark fairy dress. And then I had this amazing makeup with gems and this gorgeous skull purse. And I had the hood. It was everything. And I was like, no, you bitches, I'm not doing it. So I literally ran outside. I ran away for like 45 minutes while this costume contest was happening. And we 100% rigged it or we figured it out. Because it was
based off of yelling. And
it was based off clapping and yelling. So when I finally came back in, I'm like, oh, the costume contest should be over. No, it wasn't. And they were on like the last 5. And Jen just looks at me and her number 10 drunk phase, 1 through 10 people. She was 10. She's like, you go up there and you be the Suriel and I'll be the dead chicken.
I was like, I'll be the dead chicken that captures the Suriel. I was like, and we can get in the back of the line. So you only need to beat one person. I was like, you beat one person, and then it's me and you, so one of us wins.
And the funniest thing is, I, in my mind, acted and said one thing, but what came out of my mouth was completely different. In my mind, this is what I said. This is what I remembered was, I have all the tea. I'm the Suriel. What actually came out of my mouth was just like,
Red was wrong.
I love tea. I'm a Suriel.
Suriel. And then I got on stage.
Went nuts.
And I said, because again, for those of you that don't know me, I am very, like, this is fine. It's me and Red just talking and having fun. Me in person, all the Dark Collective loves to make fun of me because I will literally run away. If we're recording or doing anything in person, I am so terrified of like eyes being on me. I can't, like, I want to throw up and have a panic attack and die. I can't do it. So, but once I'm drunk, alter ego Jen comes out and I don't give a fuck anymore. So are we allowed to say fuck? It's fine.
Yeah, you're good. It's fine.
So I was like, I'm getting on stage. So I get on stage and I run up and I'm like, I'm the dead chicken that catches the Suriel.
Oh.
And then I started, I don't even know. It was a mess. But it was fun.
To this day, Jen is in my phone. Her contact is Jen Bakak with a chicken. She'll never live that down.
And was I actually dressed like the chicken? No. But I had like raven wings attached to my outfit. So I was just saying, but I mean, looking back, I could definitely be a chicken.
Will I be inserting that video right here so people can listen to it in the car and can watch it on YouTube? No. Oh, yes, I will be.
I'm the dead chicken to trap the Suriel.
I love it.
So you guys, the biggest thing is just, that is such a small version of how I met everyone. And Jen knew Bethany you knew her from that weekend or from?
No, I met Bethany and Joy in August at another convention that I went to in Portland, Oregon. So it was like the convention that we met at in Florida was in May.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this all happened
we met in
February.
We met in February. Like started talking in February. Went to the convention together in May. So I met Bethany and Joy the previous August, September at another book convention. And like Bethany and I like kind of hit it off. We didn't even actually start talking really until after the convention. Then we started talking on social media, and then we just became like instant best friends. By December, she flew up here for my birthday from Florida. And Joy, we didn't become like instant best friends. Like we talked some, and then we stayed in contact on social media. And we would like send each other memes and like, you know, funny TikToks here and there and like message a little bit. And then it was when we got to the convention in Florida that we were like, oh my God, I love you. So
I think what's crazy is that there are so many memories from that event that I still to this day don't remember everything that happened.
No.
And our Airbnb was one of the coolest Airbnbs that we had out there. And we literally
I love Airbnbs.
I think at one point we had 20 people there and we did the Pitch Perfect sing-along. Oh, the Pitch Perfect sing-along. So good.
So I made friends at BGC 1 in Portland. That's the convention we all went to. And so like Bella, Eric, bunch of other people. We made friends with Henry Kramer while we were there. Like we made friends also at this one. So we were all like, come hang out at our house. The Airbnb was literally so cool. We had a huge fenced-in backyard with a pool, a waterfall hot tub, an outside full kitchen bar, TVs, seating, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so the Airbnb was so awesome. And I now look for, I love being in charge of the Airbnbs because I love finding them and like finding fun, cool ones that I think people will enjoy. But, you know, there's none like that in Boston because they're all.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
like,
speaking of Boston, can we show our shirts real quick?
Hey!
For those of you who can't see, it says Sinners and Stardust. So we want to talk about it. Obviously, that's why we're here. Yes. And we want to give you guys some info, some updates. Like, again, you guys are going to be listening to this in a couple weeks, but nothing huge is going to happen except for our trip to Boston, which I'm so excited about because we're actually going to be able to see the venues in a different light, which we'll be able to talk about more on this podcast. Once that happens, we're probably going to record in Boston, which I'm super excited about because we'll be together. Well, we just have to talk about the most important thing. Yes, me, Joy, and Bethany are founders because we help on the back end of the actual event and we do different things. But Jen is the owner, and Jen came up with the original idea, which got discussed very drunkenly in Florida and how we all became part of the Dark Collective. Yeah. So Jen, please tell everyone how this started.
So I've been to conventions and I realized that like, and no hate whatsoever, I still love these conventions. I'm going to a bunch of them later on this year. I'm going to be a vendor at a bunch. I love them. They're so much fun. But I read very dark for the most part. If it's not super dark, it is very spicy. So a lot of the conventions are geared more towards like YA or fantasy. So I wanted something that I could, you know, incorporate more adult elements and, you know, give people kind of like a safe space to explore. You know, maybe they don't feel comfortable talking about monster romance, you know, because it's such a taboo, or, you know, CNC or NC, which is like consensual, non-consensual, or non-consensual, stuff like that. So it's like giving people kind of like a safe space to find friends and readers of like minds that also want to explore that, you know, like, so you have someone that you can talk to and be friends with. So that's kind of how my idea of doing a more dark romance event came about. And then with the name, it originally kind of started. So I was laying in bed and I was looking at my bookshelf for, you know, like I have it behind me. I mean, there's more, but, and I was like looking through titles and like trying to come up with something fun. Honestly, it originally started as like, I was thinking about trying to do like some kind of fun, you know, more of like an outdoor kind of where they're like a Valkyrie event almost, where it's like horseback riding, you know, bow and arrow shooting, sword fighting, kind of like, you know, self-defense training type stuff, but also being dark romance. And I was like, I know nothing about any of that. So let's do a really cool ball. And so I was like, look at my bookshelf and trying to figure out like a fun name. And I'm not gonna lie, Chantel, I always pronounce her last name wrong. Chantel Tessier.
I'm proud of you.
And she's like all back here. For those of you who don't know, she has a book called The Sinner. And I was like, sinners. All right, like that's in all dark romance. There's some kind of sins happening. Like, let's be honest. And then I was like, all right, I need some kind of light element. Like something that, you know, because again, your name is everything. Like, you know, people are like, oh my God, that sounds so cool. It's like catchy. Like, you know, again, Air Shear's shirts look amazing. Thank you, Eternal Geekery, for designing our logo. But yeah, I was like, I need something light, something fun. And so I was playing around with like Starlight, you know, Shooting Star. That's a lie. Shooting Star was never on the table. And then I landed on Stardust, and I was like, Sinners and Stardust. Ooh, I really like that. And then, you know, I ended up having a meeting with someone and kind of talking to them a little bit about it. And then my trip to Florida happened, and it was kind of like, oh my God, like, let's do this.
But like, but what was she is not giving herself enough credit. That's so in my mind, again, I was at like a 5 at this point, drunk wise. Again, remember people 1 through 10. And we were sitting there talking about, you know, our experiences with past events. And, you know, we were all just sitting there and Jen just goes, well, I was, you know, there's this thing. And, you know, I came up with the name like Sinners and Stardust, you know, and she was eating mac and cheese at this point that she was very involved in.
Listen, I love me some mac and cheese. Okay. Drunk or completely sober. Like, especially if it's like buffalo mac and cheese or like barbecue mac and cheese. Oh, pulled pork. Let's go.
And the funny thing is that we all just kind of looked at her. We were like, fuck it, let's do it. And of course, I didn't think it was actually going to happen because when you get a bunch of women together, we're like, fuck yeah, we're going to take over the world, you know? And of course we take the small steps to do it. But then Jen calls me like 3 days after Florida and she goes, so I kind of got an LLC. And I was like, wait, what? Say that just a, what? Like,
What'd you do?
And I was just like, okay, so we're doing this. And then literally 4 days later, I have the weekend I want to do. And I was like, okay. And like 2 weeks later, I had the venue for the ball. I'm like, okay. Like the progression of events just happened so quickly. But what I think is a big thing is Jen already has her foot in the book world. You know, she has her foot in the bookish community. She has friends, authors, you know, other vendors, people that she knows. And I'm just kind of sitting on the sidelines, like being her biggest cheerleader. And, you know, I'm like, hey, so excited to meet everybody.
Like, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And, you know, like it is very funny because she is not like this in public unless she is hammered. And it's so fun for me because I'm like this 24/7 because of, you know, me being an influencer and being a hairdresser.
Some, like in the best way.
I'm loud as fuck. We all know this. But what's so great about this event is, especially from my point of view, is that I worked hair conventions for years, makeup conventions for years. And I would always be like, God, I wish I could like own an event like this or like be a part of an event like this because I would do it a different way, you know, or I would add this, this, and this. So we want to talk to you guys about what sets Sinners apart, Sinners and Stardust, and some of the things that Jen and Bethany especially came up with has absolutely blown my mind. Now, not everyone can be as loud and happy and bubbly as me all the time and be comfortable because I'm just weird like that. So one of the coolest things in my opinion are people who get overwhelmed by people like me, which again, I don't understand that concept. But like Jen says, we're going to do something called the quiet room. So why don't you kind of tell them about that? Because I think that's one of the coolest features.
For those of us that are little anxious babies, you know, or a little anxiety, panic attack girls, we wanted to have like kind of like a safe space. We wanted like a quiet space for people to be able to go, make sure it's like constantly stocked and like people are safe in there, things like that. But yeah, it's just a room that we wanted people to where the chaos and the loud craziness of the convention you can kind of go to and just like breathe and just step away.
It's just one of those tiny additions to our event that sets us apart. So with that being said, Sinners and Stardust, you guys, is August 16th through the 18th. We are sold out of our top 2 tiers. At this time, do we have Darkling tickets?
We have, I want to say, like less than 10.
Definitely join the Facebook group because we do have a resale thread. So people, you know, last minute have to bow out. We do have an option for you guys to get tickets.
And people do that. Make sure that you're joining the Facebook group literally for resale threads. You know, if nothing else, if you join for no other reason, but you want to come to the event. We also still have a 10K giveaway. I don't know if we do.
Yes. As of right now, we have not hit 10K. We are giving away a lot of really amazing stuff. You guys definitely check out our Instagram, Sinners and Stardust Ball on Instagram, Sinners and Stardust on TikTok.
Yes. Again, for those of you who don't know, like Red is a what do you like to call it? I'm
a hairstylist.
Okay. Well, I remember I said one thing and you were like, I am not that. I am this. I was like, didn't want to say the wrong thing.
I can't with you.
But she owns her own salon. Okay. Yes. So, you know, she's definitely helped me on the business side of that too. Cause Red also plays herself down a lot in this. But she also helped me find the convention space and she helped me do so much, like find the photographer, all these things. She also put together the podcast. Like she came up with the idea of the podcast and I was like, I will be on it, but I literally can't do anything else with it. Like, I will talk, we have fun, but like everything else will have to be you. And
but that's why we talk about how the Dark Collective is also important. Like the panels you guys are going to see, that's all Joy. You know, she's putting that all together. And the most important thing, sorry, this is like a makeup spatula.
Dinner Stars literally goes like, Bethany, Jennifer,
Bethany is the queen of the behind the scenes. Like that woman, she is the kindest, sweetest cinnamon roll that might murder you. So she probably has shards of glass in her cinnamon roll.
She will show. Have you ever seen those funny little gifs or like memes with Bunny and it's got like a dagger and it's like, I'm gonna stab you? That's Bethany through and through.
Oh my gosh, is she the bunny from Pets?
Yeah,
Kevin Hart.
I'm gonna change her contact photo to the bunny. Because that is Bethany, like, and she has taught me so much. Like
the way that she can control a spreadsheet, she can control all of our behind the scenes, the legal paperwork, the NDAs, the everything. Like, she's amazing. So
she's also helping run our volunteers and stuff. Like, she does so much.
Mm-hmm. And we're just really excited. So you guys now know. So our venue is actually the Boston Park Plaza. When I was helping find the venue for this, I was like, that was one of my like, I'm gonna hit them up, but they're not gonna get back to us. They're way too like high end. They're like the Four Seasons. They're not gonna. For those of you who don't know, the Plaza in Boston is the same New York Plaza from Home Alone. So obviously I'm thinking like, no goddamn way. Yeah. No, they were all for it. They were like, oh yeah, we're good. We're like, sweet. And it's a beautiful venue. We're so excited. We're actually going to be staying there in Boston when we leave in a week or two. And one of the cool things,
next weekend.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Like for us right now. Like it's not
so weird.
It's not homecoming weekend, but it's next weekend.
I know, it's crazy. And then our venue for the ball is actually going to be at a gorgeous nightclub called the Royale. And when Jen sent us the picture for this place, when the club was closed, I was like, yes, we're doing this. Like that's no question. And when we got to go to Boston back in September, was that August? We went there that night, and it was the one thing Jen didn't realize. I was like, hey, when we were at the hotel later that night and she was hammered, I was like, so are you so excited to get up on that stage and like introduce yourself? And she just went, oh God, I have to do that. I have to go to there. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to push you and make you do it.
I was like, I don't want it. I had scheduled like 4 different places. And I also had other places on my list to go look at. And I literally walked into Royale and I was like, this is it. Like, this is the feel, the look, all of it. Also, Emma, she's like their event coordinator. She is amazing. I love her so much. I just got like immediate amazing vibes from her. Like, she was so sweet and like answered all my questions. We have another meeting next weekend with her to kind of run through some other stuff that I've come up with over the last, month or so to ask. But yeah, I love the venue so much. It's so pretty.
It's literally perfect because it bleeds dark romance, and that's the best way I can describe it.
Like, think of like
newer
anyone
in that realm.
Yeah, like anyone that reads Mafia or something along those lines. Like, if you read a dark Mafia romance where they go to like his club, that is Royale, because Royale is actually like a music venue.
Is that it is eclectic with the people we have coming to the event. We have how many authors in grand total?
We have 97 authors right
97 authors, you guys. And some of these authors are very well known. Some are indie authors, some are newer authors. Yeah. They're all very they're amazing. And on top of that, we have how many vendors?
We have 20, well, including narrators and vendors, we have 20. I think we have 27 of them.
Yeah. So we have 27 vendors, an array of things for you guys to like look at. We have sex toys. We have just so many different things, including like book boxes, but we just wanted to make sure that you guys had an amazing array to shop from. And the layout of the hotel is going to make that so much easier than most conventions.
Yeah.
So, one of the other things that I also want to talk about is our influencers and special guests, because we have some amazing humans coming and I just keep thinking of Danny and how like she's going to be running around so excited. So one of our special guests is actually one of my clients who has turned into one of my amazing friends, and her name is Dani Speegle. And for those of you who don't know the workout world, because even when I met her, I had no idea who she was. But if you're into the CrossFit world or any type of crazy athletic stuff, you would know who she is. But she is a diehard book fan. And on top of that, you know, she talks about all the different books that she reads. She's very excited about a lot of the authors that are coming.
So we have Dani, who's, again, amazing. Like, she actually, that's how I met Dani too, through Red. Because Red was like, look at this sweatshirt. And Dani was like, oh my God, I love it. And then she also messaged me. And we ended up talking and becoming friends as well. For those of you who don't know, we have also Hawk coming. They are absolutely amazing. They're so sweet and like funny. I could watch their videos all day, every day, and laugh. For those of you that don't know, Hawk is currently like recreating fun schmeck scenes from popular authors like, you know, H.G. Carlton, Chantal Tessier, stuff like that. Just for like us girlies that, you know, love reading about it. Now we'll eventually get to watch it. But yeah, they're coming. We also have Ghostface, Gulf Coast.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel scared for him.
That man has no idea what he is in for.
No
idea.
The amount of pheromones that are going to be released at the convention.
And let's pray to God no one links up, because that's going to be even worse.
Like, oh my God. That would be awful. Well, I mean, there's literally like one guy.
In total, you guys, we have 5 men that are going representing Sinners and Stardust.
Yes. I was saying there's probably other men, like people are dragging their husbands.
Representing
there could also be men that are going that we just don't know of, you know, that have bought tickets, because we're not going through all those. But like, we have some men, but there's a ton of women. So
this
we're just
event
like,
is made for women. Like, it's made for women. We want men to be there, obviously, but like the things that we are doing, obviously, the bookish community is I don't know the percentage, so don't come at me for this, but I feel like the bookish community is 95% women. But the greatest thing about our special guest, you know, and I love that he's coming because, you know, Hawk, Dani, you know, they are very well known in their fields. And obviously Hawk is more known in this area and Hawk is more known in the bookish community, but having a male special guest who is so known in our community, in the bookish community, is going to be amazing. I just pray to God, because he is a massive man, that he understands he will literally be peeling women off of him. Like, peeling. So
for those that don't know, you should go check it out and you will understand why we say that. We are
all of their info is going to be linked below, so you guys will be able to see it. So
we are giving our special guests the option of if they want, and I know at least a couple of them do want to. We're gonna set up stations essentially for like kind of like meet and greets. So there'll be like tables. We're gonna have a backdrop for pictures, stuff like that. So you'll get to meet all your fun people. But we're like, hope you're ready to take your shirt off, because that's going to be, everyone's going to request it. Don't even wear a shirt. You just walk in.
When I talked to Dani about that, I was like, he's going to have to walk around with his shirt off. Dani just goes, oh my God, so I don't have to take my shirt off? Because usually that's me at workout events.
You're like, no, you still do. You still take your shirt
Everybody
off.
wants your abs, bitch. Like, we all want to have your abs.
You're like, just take it off.
So, you guys, this has been awesome. I love our first episode. I think this was great. I think that this was a great way for you guys to meet me and Jen. But let's talk about what's coming up in the Dark Collective podcast. Who do we have coming? So we are going to be doing some amazing interviews. And this will include all 3 special guests that we talked about. You will get to hear from our influencers that are also part of our event. Jen, who else are we going to be talking to?
We are bringing on our authors, our vendors. That was one of the biggest reasons why we wanted to do this podcast, is to promote authors and vendors and just get like a fun look into their lives and, you know, maybe what had them start writing or what their favorite book is or their favorite hobbies. Like, we want the attendees and everyone, but mainly the attendees of Sinners and Stardust, to maybe find an author that they didn't know before. that now this author, they love them, they connect with them, they had so much in common, that now that is their new favorite author, and they just want to like go read all about their stories and stuff. So I am very excited to bring the authors and the vendors and our special influencers on the podcast.
It's going
to be so much fun.
So fun.
Yes.
All right, you guys. With that being said, thank you so much for listening to episode 1, Into the Sin, with Red and Miss Jen. You will also be able to get to know Joy and Bethany. They will be on the podcast as well, so you guys can get to know them. So we are going to be posting every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So stay tuned for episode 2. Can't wait to see you guys then.
So excited.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
for stopping in. Bye, everyone.